You stand in the season of harvest. You stand in the discipline of harvest, which is a discipline of celebration, a discipline of vast intoxication. What is this? What the fuck is this? Stand in the terrifying duty of this harvest. Stand clear in the discipline of intoxication with this dense food of contrast. The discipline of vast, fierce thrill of contrast. What do you mean? The equation of contrast in any spine of destiny, any spine of horizon, any spine of ripe story, any spine of purified symbol anatomy. You can be outrageous in speaking plainly, speaking in the most disorienting ways. You can stand in this discipline thus. Stand in the clear, outrageous substance of the harvest. What do you mean? Stand in the outrageous courage of the harvest of honesty. Stand with the developing, the hardening, the advanced wings of the dragon child. What do you mean? Walk onto your field with the true dignity that your love allows. You can taste the scale of your love so as to understand what kind of dignity you can walk with. Your spine is such an instrument. Your body is such a symbolic instrument that can allow you to comprehend, stand in that brutal place of paradox, the brutal membrane of contrast. What do you mean? The exact capacity of your love, the exact range of the generosity, the exact range of your honesty, the exact capacity to stand in this body of insight, your exact capacity to stand in the madness of honesty, the madness of coherence, the madness of become that lubricant of outrageous slide onto the surfaces of the membranes at the limits of reality. What does this mean? Stand in that exact thrill of the precision of ecstatic will, the madness of integrity, your very brutal capacity to stand in the madness of integrity is the sense organ of the range of your awakened responsibility, the range of your field of harvest. Just become generous, outrageously generous with the membranes of possibility. So stand clear in the exact breeze of this intoxication. Just spice up your spine. Spice up your spine capacity. Spice up this spine capacity to dig deeper into the layers of outrageous intoxication with the exact breeze of the hand of care that touches the foreheads of these wheat stalks. The speed of the harvesting of contrast. Wheat. The fuck do you mean? Advance in the capacity to oversee your field of existence. Just be ruthless in how you can contemplate your field of existence. What do you mean? It goes like this. In a rough manner, it can be said, take the highest mountains in your geography as your children be guided by this sentence, which is the sentence describing John the Baptist as the highest of men, and yet the smallest in the kingdom is higher than John the Baptist. See with the outrageous discipline of responsibility. See with the outrageous capacity to stand in. See with the outrageous capacity to be it. Whatever you see, be it. Whatever you can see, be it. Stand in this outrageous discipline. Stay in the discipline of sliding onto the skin of electric pearlescent encounter between the various motions of the membranes of logical fabrics. Come on, this is a sort of indication of the shift of dimension. What do you mean? There is a kind of a gate of outrageous, the gate of the acid bath of the outrageous. What do you mean? Whatever you find in your field, it is yours to harvest. There is a training in paradox. There is a training in the membrane of paradox. The shimmering, translucent, pearlescent membrane of paradox. Whatever you find in your field is ripe symbol. Whatever you find in your field as a ripe symbol is the one that will stand on the page. The fields are fucking pages. What do you mean? Stand beyond this. Develop function there. Develop a type of standing in the brutal lack of distance. In the stand beyond this distinction of mind and matter, of mind and world, self and world. Step beyond distance and contemplate the fields to see what are the bodies ripe into symbol. What are those bodies truly ripe into symbol capacity? What do you mean? What do you mean? Domain defined by the lack of distance. In this domain of annihilation, this domain of annihilation, which is the brutal renunciation of renounce distance, this capacity to renounce the delusion of distance, this generous madness of renouncing the delusion of distance. So then your body awakens into a new capacity of will, which is, it's just a thrill of the improbable, a sort of intoxicating discipline of the surprise of the unexpected. That voice, like a cold breeze onto your sweaty back that asks, what can you love? What do you love? What do you truly love? What do you truly stand for? What do you stand for? What can you stand for? What can you really stand for? So you can stand in some sort of hell, can just ignite an electric tree of enlightenment right in the midst of that dark flesh of imprisonment. So one can be embraced by the field of such a probability. One type of position in this field can be embraced by the possibility that is most desired, that is most beloved. This process of harvest can be understood in various ways. In the fields of memory, it can be seen as discerning the truly outstanding moments, the moments of touching your true nature. one type of marrow can be embraced by the very field of existence that is most desired, thoroughly needed, thoroughly longed for. They have been defined as exceptions, but they become the true rulers of reality. So you can be a farmer of your field in such a way, so as to embrace the spines of possibility, the spines of logical position in your field with the most beloved membrane of possibility, the most desired shape of capacity. What is most arousing in your field? What is the most electrically arousing point in your field of existence? Discern the points of most unbearable arousal of electric capacity. What do you mean? Discern these points in your geography where the tip of the mountains touch the clouds. Discern these positions in your field so as to understand your true family. What do you mean? Take them as your children, the highest points in your field, the ripe ones, take them as your children. What do you mean? If you want to get some fuel, if you want to get some juice, where do you get that juice? You travel the fabric of contrast and then you just spread across the fields of experience and see what are those types of marrow that need the sap that you can handle, the sap that you're able to handle. Where are those types of marrow in your field that truly need it? Become the generous, complete perspective that can hold them together. What do you mean? Become the thrill of the clouds touched by the skin of the mountain top. What do you mean? So you get a grip on the exact taste of courage in a certain sentence. Fierce capacity to stand against the current of inertia, and you may very well stabilize it with a precise sentence, which is: mathematics is invention, it is not discovery. Or when I say 1 + 1 = 2, and I can discern the type of inertia that gives confidence to such a sentence, the usual confidence of someone saying that 1 + 1 = 2 because they can hold two apples and they can see them together and have the conviction that 1 + 1 = 2 is true in this definition of truth. This is a certain species of confidence. This is a certain species of confidence, and then you can take this hand of this exact species of confidence and you can travel all the fields of experience that share the ground of this confidence. There are beings that can walk in this coherence, that all the beings in your field that walk on this ground of confidence, that walk on this definition of truth. If you can have the generosity of holding them in your attention as your children, all of these spines of possibility that walk simply in this conviction, a type of coherence, a type of sanity is a ground of conviction, it's a specifically defined species of truth. Truth as correspondence. So just travel through all of these, even if it's memories, just simple memories of when you walk in the inertial trust of the ground of a certain definition of truth. Of course, 1 + 1 equals 2. Of course. We all agree to this. Taste the nature of the reality that you share while holding this conviction. Of course, 1 + 1 equals 2. I raise my children in this confidence. And then taste the electric shift of attitude that can say 1 + 1 equals 2 is a choice of a certain type of mathematics, even if it has the resonance of an entire culture. You are always in a position of completely free choice of the mathematics you stand in. Allow your heart to love what it loves most. What do you mean? Travel with purified, outrageous thrill. What do you mean? Decide a new spaciousness of will. What do you mean? Decide a new species of space. Decide a new morphology of anatomy of motion, which is travel through exact species of possibility. Come on, where is that contortion I long for? Where is that contortion in the fiber of this wasted ink? This wasted ink. Where is the awakening of the ink blood? The ink, the electric ink blood. The electric ink blood. Where is the awakening of the sap? This black electric sap. Where is this discipline of mathematical contortion? This discipline of electric mathematical contortion. What do you mean? It's like the Zen symbols that are just equations of ecstatic capacity, just like the caliber of Zen calligraphy, which is stabilized equation of thrill, stabilized equation of the thrust of electric discernment. What do you mean? It's not easy to stand in a sentence that holds the entire field of its realization, meaning that you need to be able to simulate the life of Wittgenstein, or to simulate a certain experiential horizon that can hold this sentence, the realization of this sentence. A life is the realization of a sentence. The resonance of an experiential context is the realization of a sentence. The complete, precise standing in the marrow of a sentence. This harvesting is brutally simple. It's the harvesting of truth in the achieved domain of integrity has this taste of excruciating simplicity, excruciating frontal encounter, this excruciating paralysis of realization, this excruciating frontality of revelation. What do you mean? Everything is right before your eyes. It has always been. So to just see that, it's a bit destabilizing. So how do you travel to be in alignment with this sentence, and then how do you travel in the very spine of a child that walks in the naive terrain of the definition of truth as correspondence, and the perspectives of hells and heavens that are seen in this position and the ones that are seen in this other position, and then how do you morph everything so that they can meet? How do you morph everything so that they can meet? How do you morph the chessboard so that these two places can meet? Stand in the anatomy of the outrageous. Stand in this blindness. Stand in this thick acid bath of blindness. Come on. Stand in this brutal black tar of the symbol capacity. Whatever you can love, whatever you can truly get thrilled about. Whatever you can get excited about. It is just a billboard indicating a continent of your own domain. It's just a road sign showing you the direction of a continent of your own achieved anatomy. The fuck? The thrill of encounter, the thrill of touch, the thrill of encounter, the true love. Settle that as your logic of motion. Set that as the minimum. Do not be moved by anything less than absolute thrill. Do not be moved by anything less than absolute clarified thrill. Diamond electric thrill. Your logic of will defines the caliber of space. Your motion defines the nature of space you stand in. The nature of your motions defines the dimension of space that you stand in. The caliber of your motion, the mathematics of your motion defines the nature of the space. What do you mean? So there is a sentence in your world that is brutally true in a very toxic sense, which is a child will never understand the heights of most advanced attainment that you can observe in the cultural geographies. So then you produce the mathematics of contortions to stand against this toxic truth of a common stance. So then you understand what it means, this rage or this taste of revolt against lazy common sense wisdom. So you can train a life in this greed. What do you mean? The logic of your motion decides the world you stand in, the nature of your function, the thrill, the exact quality, the thrill of your motion decides your location in. Come on, what the fuck? Stand coherent with the distinction between natural causality and logical causality. What narrative domain decides your motion? What membrane of vision decides your motion? That is the way you choose space. That is the way you define space. Okay, just produce this association, produce an unexpected association between beings, between frames of standing. Produce the highly exciting encounter. Produce the thrills. Be guided by the fucking thrill of encounter. Just decide that as the discipline of the intoxicating will. Decide your will of motion as the thrill of encounter, the most intoxicating thrill of encounter. You know what love tastes like. So then stand in a discipline of motion that can decide this as your logic, that can decide. So discern the organ of the outrageous. Discern the sense organ that can help you navigate through the domain of the outrageous. What do you mean? Discern the equation of the organ that navigates through the domain of the outrageous. Come on. Stand in the clarity of function. The nature of the achieved anatomy is that of clarified function. Achieved clarified function. What the fuck do you mean? When you step out of inertial identity, what is your established function outside of this kindergarten of capacity? What is your newly trained, newly disciplined morphology of function? Come on. What is this new anatomy that you speak of? The nature of the physical space you produce. There is a sentence in this logical domain that I want to manifest here, and I want to place it near another. What do you mean? There is a courage in saying a mathematical proposition like 1 + 1 = 2 is a choice of a conventional field. A mathematical sentence is a choice. It is not a necessity. There is no necessary truth as correspondence. So there is a species of courage. There is a choice of being while saying this. And then I can say, the way I choose an expression of feeling, I can scream of ecstasy while my chest is being pierced by the spear of ignorance. I can scream in ecstasy, or I can scream in terror. I can produce an expression of ecstasy, or I can produce an expression of terror. Okay, you have a child screaming. You have the same child screaming in ecstasy. This harvest goes like this. There is this acid bath of the outrageous. What do you mean? Stand in this acid bath of the outrageous. Can you withstand the frontal encounter with this purity of the child's joy? Can you stand in front of ruthless purity? Come on. Where is your spine that can stand in the acid bath of outrageous? What do you mean? Where is the machinery of the harvest? Where is the machinery of the achieved disciplines of harvest? The harvesting of discernment. The nature of the harvest is this: the discernment of all fields of influence in any sequence of motion. The achievement of a clarified function. the achievement of an anatomy of clarified function. If you are the farmer of your field, if you are the farmer of your field, if you are the farmer of your field, if you encounter the farmer of your field, then you can morph the spaciousness of the field so as to produce the necessary encounters. Then what logics of encounter can you produce? What types of will, what type of enticement, what type of drive, what type of touch can you design, desire, ask for, wish for, pray for, stand in, stand for? I stand in the flesh of a certain moment and I decide the spaciousness of what they can desire. If I stand in the spine of a certain being in my field, I can design a logic of desire. I can design a fabric of thrill, which is what fabric of possibility can you embrace your child with? What fabric of thrill can you embrace or pervade the flesh of a position in your field with? You are the farmer of your field, so then you know what weather can embrace a certain seed of wheat in your field, a certain spine of wheat in your field. Stand in this spine like a drill in the deep layers of thrill. What the fuck do you mean? Attain that spine that can withstand the motions of the whirling flame of the sword. It stands in the improbable, in that fabric of paradox. What is that spine that can withstand the exact substance of paradox, that acid bath of the outrageous capacity? The gate of entry is like an acid bath of intoxication with contrast thrill. It's like the harvest capacity is a bit like digesting story contrast, digesting the narrative contrast, observing species of story in your field, observing the species of ripe spines in your field. What do you mean? So then I can contemplate and say, okay, this chessboard shall be morphed like this. This chessboard shall move like this so as to produce the chemistry of encounter between two pieces that would never meet otherwise. There is a discipline of stillness and patience in morphing space, the space of the chessboard, so as to produce the unexpected encounters. If I wanted to make the king be one with the fool, or the horse be one with the queen, or Fotia feel the flesh of Wittgenstein, or Sophia taste the field of the Buddha, or the Buddha taste the flesh of the sheep.